evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Late Show. My name is Peter McCutcheon, and somewhere around here is Dennis Wallace.
Oh, here it is. Hi there, and I'm Dennis Wallace, and we're here to tell you about a musical that we wrote that basically we're hoping will get to the stage about this time next year. It'll open in its entirety. The story is essentially a love story, but it's based on some true facts. Peter here has been writing music and lyrics for a number of years since he's retired now. And one of the songs he wrote was called First Love.
I see your smile, I hear your voice. It's been a while, but not by choice. I still remember in fields of green when I last saw you at 17. Through all the years we've been apart, through all the tears and heavy heart, I can't imagine what might have been across the ocean that lies between. Do you recall? I hope you do. We were enthralled when love was new. Now in the fall, with youth behind, I find the seasons of our lives cannot rewind. I see your face as yesterday, for time and space are held at bay. You live forever in that last day. You were my first love, my long instilled love, my unfulfilled love, so
Based on Lauren's performance of this song at a number of concerts that we ran, and the wonderful responses from audiences, I thought I'd write a story about it.
Dennis has been involved in a lot of theatrical productions, both television and stage, and both as an actor and a producer. So I was not entirely surprised when he approached me with the idea of turning the song into a full-blown musical play, based loosely on my teenage experience and arrival in Canada back in 1960. I started to sketch some musical ideas and lyrics for the scenarios, and quickly became engrossed in the process as Dennis fed me drafts of the storyline, while I conjured the music and lyrics that would serve to augment the emotional content of the scenes. And before I knew it, I was arranging orchestration for an overture, a work in progress, but it does encapsulate much of the music in the show.
The story revolves around Brendan, a widower in his 70s, who's still grieving the loss of his wife who died of cancer 3 years earlier. Brendan lives in BC, having retired from the RCMP. He came to Canada as a teenager from Ireland and has not returned since. His daughter, Catherine, has been trying to help him overcome her mother's passing and return to social engagement. During a visit with her 3 children, she tells him that she's been invited to attend a wedding of a school friend overseas and wonders if he would take care of his grandchildren in her absence. he loves this prospect and suggests that they set up an indoor campsite up in the attic. They respond enthusiastically and unearth a trove of memorabilia from his youth in Ireland, among which is a photo of his first love. This is all news to Catherine, and to some extent Brendan as well, who had not realized that Catherine's mother had kept all of these mementos. Questions abound. The children are entranced with the stories and photos of Brendan's band in Ireland, even his old guitar, which he managed to tune and play for them. Catherine, however, is engrossed in the story of his first love and pumps Brendan for details.
As Brendan recounts the story about the circumstances of his departure from Ireland and all the bittersweet memories return to him, after the children and Catherine leave, he picks up a photo and visualizes the moment of his departure from Ireland, and the thoughts and emotions that he recalls as he sings are enacted backstage by a youthful Brendan and his first love, Bridget. So here to perform this scene are Terry, playing the older Brendan, and Lauren, who's playing young Bridget, and Matt will be the younger Brendan. Hi! Try carefully!
I see your smile. It's been a while. I still remember in fields of green when last I saw you at 17. In all the years we've been apart, through all the tears and heavy heart, I can't imagine what might have been across the ocean that lies between. Do you recall? I hope you do. We were enthralled when love was new. Now in the fall, with youth behind, I find the seasons of our lives cannot rewind. I see your face as yesterday, for time and space are held at bay. You'll live forever in that last day. You are my true love, my long instilled love, my unfulfilled love, so far away.
I see you smile, I hear your voice. It's been a while, but not by choice. I still remember in fields of green when last I saw you at 17. Through all the years we've been apart, through all the tears and heavy heart, I can't imagine what might have been across the ocean that lies between. Do you recall? I hope you do.
is a lady called Donna. And Catherine has not had a chance to bring Donna up to speed with all the events that unfolded at her dad's house that Dennis had described. So Donna's most anxious to hear about Catherine's plans for her trip to the wedding in France. And the scene here is performed by Rachel, who is Lauren's sister, by the way, and has just left a 2-hour exam at Waterloo University in order to be here at 9:15. So talk about dedication. Anyway, Rachel will play Donna, Catherine's best friend, and Lauren is playing Catherine. So here is Act 1, Scene 4.
It's so nice to take a load off. Thank goodness it's quiet in here.
Just a cup of tea, please. Anything for you? Are you hungry?
No, just tea would be great, thank you. So, how did it go with your dad? How's he doing?
Better than expected. You know, he seemed in great form. Of course, the children adore him, and he always seems to buck up whenever they're around.
Is he still grieving?
Actually, no. I really think he's getting over it. Ah, thank you. He told me that he's made peace with Mom's death, and this time, I believe him. You know, it's been 3 years.
He must have loved her very much.
Oh, he's a lover, all right. Oh, did I tell you what happened?
No.
Well, you know how I was going to ask Dad to watch the children in August when I go for the wedding?
And what did he say?
Oh, of course, it's no problem. I can't tell who's more excited at the prospect, him or the children. He's concocted this plan to create a campsite in the attic. There's going to be tents and mattresses and sleeping bags. Talk about excitement. When we told them, the kids were 2 feet off the ground and ran up to go check out the room.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. Next thing I know, they're running back downstairs with all of this paraphernalia they found in an old steamer trunk. Mostly stuff from when Dad was a teenager. One of his guitars that he played back in Ireland, this glitzy jacket that he used to wear with his band, this tart thing with black silk lapels. I almost wet myself when Nuala came downstairs modeling it. But the real discovery lay in a box of old photos that Brona found. Mostly stuff of his band and his cronies back in Ireland. But then I found a photo of Dad holding hands with this beautiful woman on a beach. I mean, she was drop-dead gorgeous, like a young Sophia Loren. And there's Dad, holding her hand, gazing into her eyes like he's hypnotized. Unbelievable.
Go on.
Well, it turns out that she was his first love. But they kind of lost touch after he left for Canada. Lots of unresolved issues there.
No doubt. Have he never told you about her before?
No, not a word. I guess the children's discovery brought back a lot of old memories for Dad. Mom must have gathered all this stuff up and put it away decades ago. But the photos seemed to really move him. He said they lost touch after the years.
Catherine, you know I'm a sucker for love stories, and this one needs an ending. When was the last time your dad visited Ireland?
Oh, I don't know, 50 years ago?
Well, you know, I think the world of your father. He's as much a dad to me as he is to you. Say, it's Father's Day next week. Why don't we surprise him by buying him a ticket back to Ireland? If you just present him with it, he won't have time to think or protest. What do you say? Maybe he could reconnect with some of his old friends and find out what happened to his first love. What was her name?
Bridget Hart. You know, that's absolutely brilliant. You know, we started talking to the animals in the backyard for company, and I keep telling him he needs to seek out human companionship. That's perfect. I'll get right on it. We'll schedule for him to go next month. That way he'll be back with lots of time for the wedding.
Speaking of which, how are your plans coming? Have you decided what you're wearing?
I'm still looking at flights and connections. I have no idea what I'm going to wear. I don't know what the weather's like in Provence in August. I don't know if I should wear a hat. I'm just at a loss here.
Unexpected invitation, chance to go abroad. Do you know where you'll be heading? What will you wear at the wedding? I can sense your consternation.
What about a hat?
I don't think it makes you fat. Wear it at an angle like Yves Saint Laurent. All the guests will move aside. I don't think you'll fit it in your carry-on, so better plan on taking extra bags through custom halls and immigration, where you can declare with air of savoir-faire,
I'd nothing else to wear.
I'm quite sure they'll understand. International destination, baggage at the curb. Got your passport, boarding passes, don't forget your reading glasses. Momentary hesitation, hugs before you board. Don't forget to drop a word. Tell me about your travels, all the folks you'll meet. Send me pictures if you can. I'll be doing ironing, watching what I eat, and counting down the days till you return to welcome arms and expectations of your opening words.
Miss me when I'm gone.
Why do I sing this song? Maybe it's because I do.
This brings us to the end and the final scene of Act 1, when Catherine and the children visit Brendan at Father's Day, and Catherine presents him with his ticket to Ireland.
Intermission, then we go to Act 2. Act 2, Scene 1 opens with Brendan arriving at the Riverside Inn in Dunvarna. Dunvarna, Ireland, you say? Well, there's no such place really, we made it up. But he's there for the annual matchmaking festival. And though the name of the town is fictitious, the matchmaking festival is not. The festival takes place in a town called Lisdoonvarna on the west coast. And believe it or not, the little village on the west coast, once a year, singles congregate to be matched with eligible partners in a pre-internet dating tradition. This has been going on for decades, and I understand that the success rate is off the charts. But I digress. We now take you live into our opening scene in Ireland.
Good day, sir. And what will it be?
A pint of Guinness fresh from the barrel would be a welcome treat.
A pint it is.
Oh.
Seamus is the name.
Oh, nice to meet you, Seamus. Brendan O'Shea.
Well, welcome to Dunvarna, Brendan. Is this your first visit?
Oh, first in a very, very long time. I used to live here before I left for Canada, way back in 1963. I just arrived and I've been looking around the town, and it's nice to see that things haven't changed all that much. But tell me, is it always this busy nowadays?
Well, to be sure, this is the week of the annual matchmaking festival. You know, all these lovely lassies are here to meet Mr. Right, to find Mr. Right. It's a wonder they can find him after all the drink I served them. Are you market yourself, Fred?
Oh, no, I'm far past that stage of my life, Seamus. But, you know, I really would like to see some of the faces that I knew from before. You don't happen to know a fellow by the name of Dominic McDonough, do you? He'd be about my age.
Ha! Dominic McDonough! That old sheep stealer! The old scoundrel! The festival wouldn't be the same without Dominic McDonough coming every year looking for a trade-in. We're running short of eligible brides for the book. Just, you know, who would marry him anyway? He's here somewhere. I just served him 3 pints a few minutes ago. Dominic, get over here. Dominic, get over here. Where is he? He's over here somewhere.
Well, you know that Dominic,
This is your cue, Dominic.
Dominic played bass guitar in the group that we called the Blue Notes that we had back in the 60s.
Okay.
You know, we used to call him Casanova McDonough because he was a real hit with the girls.
I've heard of you lads. Didn't you have a hit single? You know, Dominic never stops talking about it. He always wants to get up and play with the band who can hear, just to impress the ladies. Here he is. He's finally shown up.
Lord, Tundra Jesus! Is it you, Belushi? Oh, how's the man? You haven't changed. A little wear and tear in the hair department, but the rest is more or less the same. What brings you back to Dunfermline?
Well, my daughter thought I needed a vacation, you know, and, needed to get out of the house and have a change of scenery. We lost her mother 3 years ago.
Oh,
Cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that. So, what have you been doing since I saw you last? Well, not much has changed here, though. I'm the only one who stayed in Ireland. I moved to Limerick 22 years ago. I hear that Rory is in Australia and Sandy's in Canada. The Halifax, I think. Do you see each other?
It's 2,300 miles away. It's a big country. You know, and I didn't even know he was there. So I'll try and track him down when I get back here. So, how's the wife?
Which one? I've been through 3. No, 4 since I saw you last. Sure, don't be reminding me. I'm on my own again as of last month and back in the market. Thank the Lord for the Dunfermline Festival. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a good crop this year.
You haven't changed a bit, have you?
Well, let me tell you, I've learned a lot about women over the years. And if I don't mind saying so, I've become quite the expert. When you're looking for a wife and can organize your life, just be careful that you're thinking with your head. So when you go on a date, well, it's always good to wait, because you'll never do your thinking in the bed.
All right. So what happened with your first wife?
Oh, lovely girl she was.
Weren't you engaged to be married before I left in 63?
Well, that was a short story. We had a lovely wedding. Fairy tale it was. Well, I took her to Ashford Castle on the wedding night. Gorgeous room, bridal suite, overlooking the loch. You know, lots of champagne. Oh, there was I, snuggling up to her, and herself all pink and naked under the sheets. And there's me nibbling on her ear, and I could tell she was loving every bit of it. Maeve, says I really love you, Maeve.
And?
Well, that's when she smacked my face, kicked me out of bed, and packed her bags.
What?
Well, you see, I'd forgotten her name. It was Doreen. Now, when you're looking for a wife and can organize your life, just be careful that you're thinking with your head. So when you go on a date, well, it's always good to wait, because you'll never do your thinking in the bed.
All right, Mr. Expert, what happened to number 3?
Oh, number 3. Ursula Quinn. Fine specimen of a lass. A bodacious young filly. Well, we met her at the festival. Very self-conscious about her figure she was. Well, we were together for a year or 2. I thought it'd be nice to take her away for a holiday. I was reading in a magazine about this spa down in Kerry. Well, they were offering a 2 for half price for the both of us for the weekend. A gorgeous pictures of hot tubs and food and all. Well, it sounded like a lovely place with a swimming pool and massages. So I surprised Ursula on her anniversary And off we went. So I was checking in at the desk when this blonde lady came up, and all fancy dress with jewelry and all, came up with one of them posh Dublin accents. I says to Ursula, "You must be Mrs. McDonough. Welcome to Weight Watchers." Ursula turns an alarm and shade of red, spins around, smacks me in the face, and stomps out of the hotel. That's the last I saw her. Oh my God. When you're looking for a wife that can organize your life, just be careful that you're thinking with your head. So when you go on a date, well, it's always good to wait, because you'll never do your thinking in the bed.
Okay, so that's very long. So we're on to 4 now. What's number 4?
4 is not so hard to remember. Lost her just a month ago. Almost killed the poor girl.
You what?
Well, not intentionally, mind you. Again, I was only trying to please. I thought it'd be nice to take her to a nice fancy restaurant. So I looked up the internet. No fiction. I looked at a French restaurant in Limerick. That sounded very nice. So I made reservations, and we get all dressed up on a Saturday night and drove into town. The place was all fancy, right? All candles and enough cutlery to serve a Christmas dinner. Wine glasses, water glasses, and all. And the menus were French, and even the waiters were French. So there's me looking at the menu, pretending I understand every dish. And I knew that Pauline, yeah, that's her name. I knew she's allergic to shellfish, but she loves chicken. So I said to her, well, there's a fine-looking chicken dish right here on the menu. Would you like some? Ah, yes, she says. I'm starving after the drive. So we order it, and after a couple of bites, she goes all purple and clutches her throat. Scared the bejesus out of me, she did. We had to call an ambulance and all. Oh, well, I followed her back to the hospital. They didn't let me see her. They were pumping her out. I went back the next morning, and they told me that her mother came to pick her up and take her away, and that was the last I saw of her. Oh, well.
Well, what did you give her? Well, what did you order for her?
Well, it was the only fucking chicken dish on the menu. Coquille Saint-Jacques or something or other. When you're looking for a wife that can organize your life, just be careful that you're thinking with your head. So when you go on a date, well, it's always good to wait, because you'll never do your thinking in the bed. So the moral of the tale, trying to prevail, is to let the woman think on your behalf. Or you'll never hear the end, and she'll drive you around the pen, so you better let her have a final laugh.
Don, my friend, I don't think women truly appreciate your better nature. So tell me, have you come across Bridget at all? What became of her?
There was the girl. You know, I remember the first night you met her. I could have sworn that you two would have been together forever. Before you even left for Canada. You know, I haven't seen or heard from her in years. I knew she had stayed single for a long time after you left. But then all of a sudden I heard that she was married and expecting a baby. Now, I don't know if you remember Justin Burke, who was her best friend's brother. A bit of a bastard and regular bully, you ask me. Now, I have my suspicions. I think he had his way with her. And once she found out she was pregnant, well, she had no other option but to marry the bugger. Oh, very sad. Anyway, the baby arrived 6 months later. And as soon as she was born, the bastard took off having mortgaged half the house, leaving Bridget with a mountain and no means of support. Oh, those were hard years for Bridget and wee Maureen. Well, she's all grown up now, of course. Sweet young thing. The spitting image of her mom. Well, she works here in the bar with Seamus, believe it or not. Hey, Seamus, when does Maureen come in?
She starts at noon, Don.
That's a sad story. Sad story. Where's this Justin bloke living now?
Yeah, well, it's a whole sad story. You see, the bugger was never right for Bridget. And he treated her like dirt. He spent most of his time in Kildare reeling and dealing in the horse trade. And when he was back in town, he was drank a lot, spewing off about how successful he was in the horse business. And Maureen, bless her heart, has had a run of bad fortune too. Well, first her pa deserted them. And then the young lad she married drowned off Clifton.
Oh,
Oh, he was a trawler man. He capsized in that big storm a few years back.
that's sad, but, you know, that bloke.
Yeah, Justin,
Yeah,
right?
and he's living around here or what?
Well, last I heard, he had to leave the country. Rumor has it he was involved in some major scam involving the Canadian horse breeder in Toronto. Well, he must have made off with millions, because for a while afterward, he was driving around in fancy Mercedes and all. And the Canadian authorities must have contacted the guarded fraud squad here, because, well, he disappeared overnight and no one's ever seen him. And now I heard that he's living high off the hog in some foreign island somewhere.
Now, are you sure this incident took place in Toronto?
Oh yes, the breeder's quite well known in all North America.
I look forward to meeting Maureen and hearing what she has to recall about all this.
Well, where are you staying, Brendan?
Well, I'm staying across the at the inn across the square. In fact, you know, I better get my bags over there before they give my room away.
Come on, I'll walk you across. Oh, it's good to see you, lad. It's been too long.
Seamus, your Guinness deserves an encore. I'll be back as soon as I get myself squared away over at the inn.
Slide to the
All right.
fence, Brendan. Well, now.
Hello, Seamus.
Maureen, you're early, me darling.
Well, I expected it might be a wee bit busy today, watching the festival and all.
Well, yeah, yeah, to be sure, there's been a lot of people here. And one fellow all the way from Canada, a fellow by the name of Brendan. Nice fella. He's an old friend of Dominic and myself. friends. He told me he lived here when he was young. Dominic recognized him right away. He's standing across the square. He said he'd be right back for another drink as soon as he settled in. Did you know him then?
No, but I think we might did.
Oh dear. Hello again, Brendan. Everything in order at the inn?
Oh, everything's wonderful. The room was ready and the bed looked comfortable. Sláinte, my friend.
Sláinte, Brendan. There's someone I think you should meet.
You are Maureen.
Yes, but how did you know my name?
Dominic and Seamus. If the clocks were rolled back 50 years, I'd called you Bree. You're just as beautiful as your mother.
Maureen, why don't you take Dominic back to the snug for a wee while? I can manage here on my own.
So Brendan and Maureen sit in the intimate snug in the room of the pub, and Brendan inquires about her mother Bridget, but learns to his dismay that she's in a care facility suffering from Alzheimer's. He asks Maureen to take him to see her, but when they visit the following day, Bridget mistakes Brendan for her errant and abusive ex-husband Justin, the one who had abandoned the family, leaving them penniless and without support. She angrily chastises Brendan, who is shocked and dismayed naturally, and Maureen is distraught and ushers Brendan out of Bridget's room to console him. Maureen explains that her mother thinks that she, Maureen, is a nurse at the facility and doesn't recognize her as her own daughter. Here to sing She Doesn't Know Who I Am are Lauren and Terry again.
She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't even remember my name. All the same, she can recognize me. She looks up when I enter the room, and she smiles.
I remember that smile, like a sun ray that melts away the clouds of gray.
I can remember a time when I was young and she'd hold me so tight in her arms. She doesn't know how I pine, what I would give for a sign of the love that would banish my fears. Isn't gone, washed away with my tears. How I wished I could turn back the years to that time.
Long ago,
Love would flow in the glow. She would know who I am.
And this is where we will leave the remainder of our story to your imagination. Suffice to say, there are twists, turns, surprises, some sad, some happy. But at the end of the show, we see all of the characters gathered together in Canada in a celebration of the cultural ties between the two countries, and in a rousing finale, we speak and sing of the cultural diversity and hospitality for which Canadians are renowned. So hopefully you'll be able to see the full show next year. Now let me introduce our artists, who have given really freely of all their time. So we'll start with Lauren. Come on out here. Where's Rachel? And our Brendan was played by Terry McConnell. Terry. The wild man Dominic McDonough, played by someone you've already seen this evening, Mr. John Cormier. And who just drove in from Kingston to help us out tonight, Matthew. Matt, where are you? That was Matt's voice you heard in the wings during the earlier presentation of the song First Love. And last but not least, the best bartender I've ever come across, Bob Nally. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of what we're going to present to you tonight. That we will stick around for a moment or two in case anyone wants to ask us anything about the show or any comments, good or bad. Any questions from anyone?
What are you playing?
Well, the show is written. We're just actually hoping to get it produced. That's where the stage we're at now. We have a brand new finale that I wrote about 3 weeks ago, and Peter, who was in Mexico up until last Wednesday, sat out on a beach 3 weeks ago and came up with a whole new musical finale, which is very uplifting and foot stomping, so it should be an exciting finale. And it really is our dream to have the show on this stage or somewhere locally about this time next year in its full production. It's a 2-hour program once we get it going. Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.